"Becky," he said. His face was wet. He put his hands up to touch it, and they came away stained. His tears were bloody. "What have you told Becky?" "Stay away from your sister!" Simon heard a clattering from inside the house, as if something had been knocked over. "Mom," he said again, but this time his voice wouldn't rise. It came out as a hoarse whisper. His hand had begun to throb. "I need to know. Is Becky there? Mom, open the door, please." "Stay away from Becky!" She was backing away from the door. He could hear it. Then came the unmistakable squeal of the kitchen door swinging open, the creak of the linoleum as she walked on it, the sound of the drawer being opened. Suddenly he imagined his mother grabbing for one of the knives. "Before I kill you, monster!" The thought rocked him back on his heels. If she struck out at him, the mark would rise. It would destroy her as it had destroyed Lilith. He dropped his hand and backed up slowly, stumbling down the steps and across the sidewalk, fetching up against the trunk of one of the big trees that shaded the block. He stood where he was, staring at the front door of his house, marked and disfigured with the symbols of his mother's hate for him. No, he reminded himself. She didn't hate him. She thought he was dead. What she hated was something that didn't exist. I am not what she says I am. He didn't know how long he would have stood there, staring, if his phone hadn't begun to ring, vibrating his coat pocket. He reached for it reflexively, noticing that the pattern from the front of the mezuzah, interlocked stars of David, was burned into the palm of his hand. He switched hands and put the phone to his ear. "Hello? Simon?" It was Clary. She sounded breathless. "Where are you?" "Home," he said, and paused. "My mother's house," he amended. His voice sounded hollow and distant to his own ears. "Why aren't you back at the Institute? Is everyone all right?" "That's just it," she said. "Just after you left, Maris came back down from the roof where Jace was supposed to be waiting. There was no one there." Simon moved, without quite realizing he was doing it, like a mechanical doll. He began walking up the street toward the subway station. "What do you mean there was no one there?" "Jace was gone," she said, and he could hear the strain in her voice. "And so was Sebastian." Simon stopped in the shadow of a bare-branched tree. "But Sebastian was dead." "He's dead, Clary." "Then you tell me why his body isn't there, because it isn't," she said, her voice finally breaking. "There's nothing up there but a lot of blood and broken glass. They're both gone." "Simon, Jace is gone." Part 1. No Evil Angel. Love is a familiar. Love is a devil. There is no evil angel but love. William Shakespeare. Love's Labors Lost. 2 weeks later. Chapter 1. The Last Council. "How much longer will the verdict take, do you think?" Clary asked. She had no idea how long they had been waiting, but it felt like 10 hours. There were no clocks in Isabel's black and hot pink powder puff bedroom, just piles of clothes, heaps of books, stacks of weapons, a vanity overflowing with sparkling makeup, used brushes, and open drawers spilling lacy slips, sheer tights, and feather boas. It had a certain backstage at La Cage aux Folles design aesthetic, but over the past 2 weeks, Clary had spent enough time among the glittering mess to have begun to find it comforting. Isabel, standing over by the window with Church in her arms, stroked the cat's head absently. Church regarded her with baleful yellow eyes. Outside the window, a November storm was in full bloom, rain streaking the windows like clear paint. "Not much longer," she said slowly. She wasn't wearing any makeup, which made her look younger, her dark eyes bigger.